The city lights gleamed like scattered diamonds from his penthouse suite. He'd built an empire from the ground up, a master of his domain. Tonight, however, a subtle unease began to creep into the opulent silence. This detail matters because for months, whispers of a groundbreaking acquisition had circulated, a deal that promised unprecedented growth. He'd placed his faith in trusted advisors, confident that this was the pinnacle of his success. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence. But behind the polished veneers and confident smiles, a different narrative was unfolding. A web of deceit was meticulously woven, each thread designed to obscure the truth and manipulate the unfolding financial landscape. This detail matters because it changes how. It started subtly. A minor discrepancy on a ledger, easily dismissed as a clerical error. Yet, it pricked at his intuition, a tiny splinter under the skin of his certainty. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline. The small issues began to multiply, like ripples expanding on a disturbed pond. Accounts didn't reconcile, transactions appeared out of nowhere, and the carefully constructed edifice of his wealth began to show cracks. This detail matters because it changes how. He summoned his chief financial officer, demanding answers for the mounting questions. The response was evasive, laced with reassurances that were beginning to sound hollow, a desperate attempt to maintain control. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence. The digital trails were meticulously scrubbed. Sophisticated methods erased evidence, making it seem as if the transactions had never occurred. The money had become a digital ghost, leaving no trace. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline. As August 22 dawned, the full horror became apparent. A desperate, late-night call from a former associate confirmed his deepest fears: the acquisition was a carefully orchestrated illusion. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline, and witness. The architect of this grand deception wasn't an outsider, but someone from within his inner circle, someone he had trusted implicitly for years, a wolf in shepherd's clothing. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline, and witness. Billions in assets were systematically siphoned off through a labyrinth of shell corporations, disappearing into offshore accounts, untraceable by conventional means, a phantom theft on an unimaginable scale. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline, and witness. The once impenetrable vaults of his financial empire were now empty. The empire he'd painstakingly built over decades had been hollowed out from the inside, leaving a shell. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline, and witness accounts. Investigators were baffled. The sophistication of the scheme bypassed standard auditing procedures, leaving them chasing shadows and fragmented data. The perpetrators had seemingly vanished without a trace. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline, and witness accounts. The personal betrayal cut deeper than the financial loss. The faces of those involved, once sources of comfort and trust, now represented a profound and devastating breach of faith. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline, and the pursuit of justice commenced, a race against time to unravel the complex financial tapestry and apprehend those responsible before they could further disappear into the global financial ether. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline, and international banking laws and cross-border secrecy became formidable obstacles. The stolen fortune was scattered across multiple jurisdictions, making recovery a monumental and intricate undertaking for authorities. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline, and witness accounts fit. Slowly, painstakingly, through deep forensic accounting and international cooperation, the first tendrils of the scheme began to surface, revealing the intricate planning involved in the massive theft. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline, and witness accounts. While some architects of the betrayal were eventually brought to account, the full extent of the lost fortune remained elusive, a chilling testament to the power of sophisticated financial crime. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence, timeline. The narrative served as a harsh lesson: absolute trust can be a vulnerability. Vigilance, robust checks, and balances are not signs of distrust, but essential safeguards in the high-stakes world of finance. This detail matters because it changes how Though the empire was fractured and the fortune diminished, the story left an indelible mark. It was a chilling reminder that even the most secure fortresses can be breached from within. This detail matters because it changes how the evidence. The Vanishing Act taught the world a vital lesson about the invisible threats that can dismantle fortunes. It underscores the importance of looking beyond the obvious and understanding the true nature of security. This detail matters because it changes how